Good evening. Welcome again to today's council meeting. Please join me in standing for the invocation. Oh, page ready? Sorry about that. Tonight's invocation will be led by Councilmember Freeman.
Thank you. Everybody bow our heads. Dear Lord, thank you for today. Thank you for all the blessings that you give us. Thank you for being in a town with such wonderful people that are willing to help out each other when times are going sideways. Please continue to be with us and give us guidance and wisdom today so that we can grow as a council, a town, and as a community. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Please join me standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Now time is 7:01. I call to order the regular town council meeting of Town of Sunnyvale from Monday, February 8th. For the record, all council members are present, so we have a call. The first item is announcement pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.0415. Council and mayor and staff may make announcements. I'm going to turn to council. Are there any announcements from the council? Okay, there are none. Staff, any announcements? Okay. Moving on to the next item, public forum. This is the time the citizens may come forward and speak to the council on any matters other than personnel or legal matters or matters on the agenda. So if you would like to come and speak to the council, you may come forward if you are in the council chamber, or you may raise your hand if you are joining us via Zoom. No one is coming forward from the chamber. Erica, anyone raising their hand?
No hands raised.
No hands raised. We're going to close the public forum. Moving on to consent agenda item. Council, we have item number 2, 3, 4, and 5 on the consent agenda. Would anyone like to remove any of the items from the consent agenda? Okay, if not, can I have a motion to approve consent agenda item 2, 3, 4, and 5?
Motion to approve consent items 2, 3, 4, 5.
Motion made by Mr. Allen. Do a second. Second by Mr. Eldridge to approve consent agenda item 2, 3, 4, and 5. Everyone heard the motion? All in favor signify. All opposed, the motion passed 7-0. Moving on to the public hearing portion of the agenda. At number 6, hold a public hearing, discuss, consider, and act upon a site plan and first reading of ordinance 21-43, granting a specific use designation for a food processing and storage facility on the property zone industrial located generally at the southeast corner of Clay Road and Long Creek Road. That's it.
We can try now. Does that work?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good evening, Mayor and Council. The property at the southeast corner of Clay Road and Long Creek Road is 8.5 acres of vacant land that's zoned industrial, and it's surrounded by other industrial uses. Big State Meat Company is proposing to take 4 of the 8.5 acres, and it's the 4 acres located on the corner, to construct a cold storage warehouse and distribution facility where their offices would also be located. Big State is a company that receives large quantities of prepackaged food, and then they sort of break down those pallets of packaged food, store them, and then redistributes that same food in smaller quantities to retailers and restaurants. So they never open the package. They're never dealing with, raw open meat or anything like that. But because of the refrigerated storage component of the use, the UDO classifies this use as a food processing and storage facility, just because that's the name that we have to call it in the UDO, even though the business itself will not have a food processing or preparation element. So because we have to classify it as that, that's what requires a specific use designation. Big State has provided a site plan that shows an 18,851 square foot facility with 5 loading docks that face away from the street. The applicant is also providing a site plan that meets the requirements of the UDO and actually exceeds the requirements of the UDO on their frontage requirements along Clay and Long Creek. And they also have provided a floor plan and building elevations that comply with the UDO requirements. The Planning and Zoning Commission reviewed this request and recommend approval unanimously. I also wanted to address one of the documents that was received. We sent out the notices to the adjacent property owners, and you may have seen that one of them came back opposed. If you read their reasoning for that, having to do with waste and disposal issues and rodents and things like that, again, I think that was a misconception likely in the kind of business this is. That was probably more thinking of things that typically are issues with the food processing side of things. Again, this business does not do that. They receive prepackaged frozen food and they send out frozen food. They don't have any sort of slaughtering or rendering or anything like that. So it's a lot cleaner of a use than the name that we have to call it based on the UDO may signify. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Charles. I'm going to open up for public comments. If anyone from the members of the audience would like to come forward and speak to the council on item number 6, you may come forward. If you're joining us via Zoom, you may raise your hand. No one is coming forward from the chamber. Erica, anyone raising their hand?
No hands raised.
No hands raised. We're going to close the public comments. Council, are there any questions for staff? Charles, what type of waste do you anticipate from here? Cardboard, plastic, or anything else?
Right. It's more your typical sort of warehouse waste. So probably the plastic they use to wrap pallets, cardboard, things like that.
There's no dirty water running down the drain and all those things.
No.
Mayor, if I could,
Yes, sir.
as maybe
Seeger?
a little more explanation. This is very similar to, if not exactly like, another business in town that we've got. I've worked and have provided equipment to these types of companies. All they're doing is building inventory, breaking down pallets, building inventory for specific delivery to a specific location that doesn't take pallets full of one product. They take pallets full of mixed product.
So
It's-
retail or even smaller?
Well, it possibly could be for retail use, for grocery use,
Okay.
but it could also be for restaurants. Any place that has the need for not literally consuming food, but using food in some way, shape, form, or manner. There is no processing, there's no cooking, there's no gutting of, there's nothing of the nature that's done. And they're taking boxes of frozen, everybody's wearing cold jackets and gloves. They're boxes of solid boxes of frozen food that they're building up pallets in a size that's manageable by the location that it's going to be distributed to. So it's not any worse than what we already have in the town over off of Long Creek Road. It's likely not any better. It's pretty much a neutral playing field. And the business that we already have in the town has been an excellent business for the town, and I don't see this one as being any different.
Is the applicant on the line? I see a name, John. Do you have an applicant on the line? It's okay, just asking. I just wanted to say something. Any other question for staff?
Hold on.
That's okay. You just want to say something, but it's okay. Okay, there are no other comments. This is the first reading. If there are no other comments or discussions, I call for a motion, item number 6.
Motion to approve item 6 as presented.
Motion made by Mr. Finch to approve item number 6 as presented.
Mayor, on
Seconded by Mr. Eldridge. Everyone heard the motion? Are there additional discussions? If none, all in favor signify. All opposed, motion passed 7-0. So Susan, this will be back in the consent agenda next week or next time?
Yes, sir.
Item number 7, discuss, consider, and act upon appointing members to serve on the temporary multi-generational community recreation center committee that is charged with the responsibility of providing input to town leadership on matters related to the conceptualization, design, programming, and budgeting for a multi-purpose community recreation center. That be Ms. Khatri?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any?
Good evening, council. As you recall, on January 11th, the council voted unanimously to create this temporary committee. At that time, we asked that council members forward to me any nominees to serve on the committee, and the names below have been nominated to date. Marcus Briggs, Jenica Holland, Esmeralda Stidham, Victoria Matthews, Cindy Bronowski, Catherine Martin, Allison Pinkard, Todd Ranta, Nisha Abraham, Carla Jackson, and Eric Weiss. At the time, there were several categories of that we wanted to make sure that were included. For example, a Sarissa member, a library board member, a 4B board member. I think we got all of those subcategories included in this, except for we did talk about appointing a member of council to serve on this committee. So other than the council member, all of these represent the groups that you desired. Additionally, you can see the list of town staff who will participate on the committee, and at the end of their work, we will come back and report to you what their recommendations are.
Okay.
With that, if you'd like to consider this slate of nominees plus select a council member.
It's a prestigious
Sure.
position. Council members, volunteers, please.
I'll be happy to join the committee if there's no one else that wants to. It's the prestige.
Anyone else? Anyone else want to throw their name in the hat? Okay. Do I need to call for public comments on this one?
Only, so you didn't have public comment at the beginning, so it would be appropriate for you to call for public
Okay.
comment now.
I'm going to follow the direction here. So this is the time for public comments. If anyone from the members of the audience would like to come forward and speak to the council on item number 7, you may come forward. If you're joining us via Zoom, you may raise your hand. No one is coming forward for the chamber. Eric, anyone raising their hand?
No hands raised.
No hands raised. We're going to close the public comment. So the council, I think, the motion when I call will be to approve item number 7 and add Mr. Kevin Clark as a council representative to this committee. That sounds right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can I have a motion, please?
Mayor, I make a motion to approve item number 7 as presented with the addition of Councilman Kevin Clark to the list.
Motion made by Mr. Allen to approve item number 7 with Mr. Clark. Seconded by Mr. Eldridge. Everyone heard the motion? All in favor signify. All opposed, motion passed 7-0. Congratulations, Mr. Clark. I continue to appreciate your service and you volunteer for many things, and we appreciate you for that. Moving on to item number 8, mayor and council request for future staff updates and agenda items. Council. Mr. Freeman, do you have anything? Okay. Okay, I guess there's none. So now I call for a motion to recess into executive session pursuant to chapter 551 subchapter D of the Texas Government Code. There are 2 items, council, both are 551.087, economic development, project PC and project DC2. And also there's one more thing, right? I'm sorry, there are 2 things. That's one, item number 10, section 551.072, deliberations about real property, town-owned land on SISD campus.
I'd like to make a motion to recess into executive session pursuant to chapter 551, subchapter D of the Texas Government Code.
Motion made by Mr. Freeman to recess into executive session. Is a second.
I'll second.
Seconded by Mr. Clark. All in favor signify. All opposed. The time is 7:14 and we are in executive session. Okay, the time is 7:32. We are back in open session. Council, is there any motion as a result of the executive session? Yes, yes. Will do. I want to confirm that as a result of the executive session, no action is to be taken with respect to project PC and project DC2. Now moving on to item number 10. Is there a motion with respect to item number 10?
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to allow the town manager to authorize purchase and sale agreement and any other documents with the school district as approved by the town attorney.
So motion made by Mr. Freeman to authorize the town manager to execute any purchase or sale agreement and to process any documents with respect, with the authorization from the town attorney. Motion seconded by Mr. Eldridge. Are there any discussions? All in favor signify. All opposed, motion passed 7-0. Council, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion made by Mr. Freeman and seconded by Mr. Allen to adjourn. Everyone heard the motion? All in favor signify. All opposed, motion passed 7-0. The time is 7:33. The meeting is adjourned. I just want to thank all the council members and staff and the police officer and anyone who has called in. Thanks, everybody. Good night.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank
Take
you
care
all.
now.